this is why we don't do this. This is why we don't do this again and again. It's like, yeah, okay, we don't do it. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, no, I get it. Vegan children's books. I have 14 of them here, and I want to review them for you guys. We've had them for a little over a month, I think. These are the first vegan books we've ever read. For those who don't know, I have 2 kids. I have a 4-year-old that I call toddler. Deal with it. And a almost 2-year-old who I call tiny baby. They've always been vegan, so I just never really felt the need to read them vegan books. But I thought it would be cool, since my channel's about veganism, to go through and see how these are as someone who has never read any of the vegan kids books. So my little reviews are going to be based on really toddlers' opinions to some extent, but mostly mine. Tiny baby, they're 2. They don't know anything, so. But my 4-year-old was into really only a couple of them and just really confused by a lot of them. Most of the books, in my opinion, they're not really for vegan kids. They're for kids who are like transitioning to veganism, like maybe mom or dad wants to go vegan, and so now they're only eating vegan foods, and so they're trying to explain to their children why we're no longer eating chicken or whatever. That seems to be what the majority of these books are for, just kind of explaining like friends not food and that whole concept. But my 4-year-old has never eaten chicken. They've never had turkey. They don't know that you have like turkey on Thanksgiving. So some of the stuff, it just kind of, it goes over their head. They get really confused. I have to explain things to them. And I think maybe on some level, probably not, they're only 4, but I like to think that they're like, what the hell? Like, why are you preaching to me? I don't eat animals. I know it's wrong. Give me a book about fun stuff. This sucks. So most of the review is just going to be from me, whether or not I liked the book and I liked the illustration and I thought it was good for kids. Does it rhyme? Is it easy to understand that sort of thing? And again, whether or not I liked it, whether or not it was too cringy for me, because I have to read these books too, so I want it to be something that adults can, it's not like The Little Engine That Could. That is the worst book. No, it's not. Goodnight Moon, and even worse than Goodnight Moon, is her other book, The Little Kittens or whatever the hell it's called, where she says bees are orange. Anyway, I could go on and on about horrible children's books, but let's get to it, because like I said, 14 books. In no particular order, The True Adventures of Esther the Wonder Pig by Steve Jenkins, Derek Walter, and Caprice Crane. Steve Jenkins and Derek Walter are her daddy and her other daddy. That's who she lives with. And this is just the story of Esther. Got this little pig, decided to keep it, thinking it was going to stay a little pig. As some of you probably know, many of them do not stay little mini pigs. And of course, she ended up being a giant, 600-pound animal. And so instead of getting rid of her, they decided to buy land, essentially a sanctuary where they can keep her. And they have several other animals as well. Very inspiring, very, very sweet. So of course I had to get this one. This was the one I was most excited about, and I really like it. I think the illustration is really nice. They do a good job of making a 600-pound pig look adorable and not like a 600-pound pig. It is kind of jarring. You get to the end of the book and like you've had all these cute photos of Esther, and then you have the real Esther on this side. It's just like a 600-pound pig. They're not always the cutest animals. So it's a very sweet story. It's on the longer side, but not too long. I wouldn't read it to a really, really little kid. I think they're going to get bored. And also the pages are rippable. So I definitely wouldn't give this to like a kid, probably 2 and younger, because they're going to tear it up. It tells a story, which is something I'm going to be saying a lot in this video. Not all of these books do. This actually tells a whole story. There's also a little bit of repetition that tends to keep kids interested. There's this line where she, does something kind of annoying, tears into food or whatever in the kitchen, and it makes them kind of upset. But when she looked up at her dad's with those eyes and that smile, it was love. And so they do that a few times. It's very cute. Not a Nugget by Stephanie Dreyer, illustrated by Jack Veda. This was definitely one of my least favorites, I have to say. Again, it's paper, so would not give this to a very, very young kid. Fairly boring as well. So again, this is a perfect example of there not being a story. It's just kind of facts about animals. Some of which are, weird. Most of them are like, not a steak, and it's got a picture of a cow. And then do you know that cows are problem solvers? And it gives little like fun facts about animals and like, look, there's, sentient beings type of thing. Then you get to clams. Did you know that clams live longer than us? If left alone in their original habitats, clams can live up to several hundred years. What does that have to do with any, trees live a real long time too. Is it wrong? Is it wrong to chop down a tree? Like it's very weird. That maybe it's a case of like one of these things is not like the others. Like you can't really compare clams to cows. Maybe, if that's the only thing you can come up with to defend clams from being eaten, I don't know. Maybe we should eat the clams. So yeah, it's simple. There's not a whole, lot of words for younger kids, but there's no rhyming or anything. And it's just fairly boring. I do really like the illustration though. V is for Vegan, the ABCs of Being Kind, written and illustrated by Ruby Roth, who also did maybe the most popular vegan children's book, which I will get to in a minute. As you may have guessed, it is an ABCs book, which is great. Kids love ABCs and need to, learn their ABCs. I don't know if this would be the best way to do it because it is pretty wordy. It's a lot wordier than most of the ABCs book, which usually it's like A is for apple, A is for animals, friends not food, we don't eat our friends, they'd find it quite rude. So that's all just for A. So it's a little bit longer. It does rhyme though, and the rhymes are really good. It's really, really well written. I love the illustrations. I love the way that she draws, particularly the other book I'm going to get to in a minute, which is a lot more detailed. This is a lot more cutesy, but it's like weird. It's like weird cutesy. Like, look at that. I love that so much. Linus The Vegetarian T-Rex. It tells a story. It tells a story that incorporates morals that we would like, not by preaching, but by making it fun and having characters that kids actually like and can connect to. Dinosaurs. I don't know if you know this, but kids love dinosaurs. That's not true. My kids don't really give a shit about dinosaurs, but most kids really like dinosaurs. So I've heard. Basically, this girl, she loves the museum, goes into this exhibit, and it's this weird, world where the dinosaurs are alive. And she meets Linus, and he says, I'm hungry. Let's go hunting. First, Linus attacked a patch of arugula. Next, Linus stalked some yummy broccoli. Then he pounced on a plum tomato. It's like really cute. He's like hugging it. He just loves tomatoes. I feel ya. When Linus greeted a herd of iguanodons, Ruth Ann couldn't stand it any longer. Didn't you want to eat those guys? I wouldn't dream of it. They're my friends. Oh, geez. That's Why We Don't Eat Animals, a book about vegans, vegetarians, and all living things, written and illustrated by Ruby Roth. So this is the other Ruby Roth book that I got. As you can see, the illustration is awesome. It is just so good. It's so detailed, but the style, like look at the nostrils, how like rectangular a lot of the features are, just everything. I love it. I love it so much. I would love, honestly, like some sort of adult graphic novel or something for me in this style. I would love that because I really, really love the style. I've only read a little bit of this to toddler because this is for older kids. I think it specifically says on Amazon like 6 to 9, but I wanted to get it anyway just to look at because again, it is like really popular. I think it's like the first book that comes up if you look for vegan children's books. It is another no story sort of thing. It's just facts upon facts upon facts. It is very, very long. It is very, very wordy. It's got some, sadder images of kind of what goes on for these animals, but nothing super gory or anything. Again, definitely for kids who are like transitioning to veganism or honestly, I read a review and it almost made me cry. It was so sweet. Someone said that a friend of their kid was vegetarian. And so they wanted to like learn more about it and have the kid learn more about it. So they bought one of the books. I don't think it was this one. Maybe it was this one. I can't remember which book it was, but so the parent actually got the book and they were like learning about it together. Point is, I think this is more useful for kids who are like learning about this stuff versus, I don't know, a kid who's already vegan. I don't really see the point in going like, this is why we don't do this. This is why we don't do this again and again. It's like, yeah, okay, we don't do it. Yeah. Okay, Cool. Yeah, no, I get it. But again, I don't have a 6 to 9-year-old, so I could be totally wrong. We'll save this for when toddler's older. Honestly, I don't think we will save this one. There's just way too much stuff in here that I don't agree with. On the very first page, a flower will push through a crack in the sidewalk in order to feel the sun. A penguin will march thousands of miles to find food for her babies. And then it says, we are all earthlings. So like, I don't know. I don't think a plant is like a penguin or is like a people's. So yeah, that's just very weird. There's also some like hippy dippy we are one shit that's like, it's all right. I guess it's harmless. But then there's like, when we eat natural foods, we soak up the goodness of the sun, the earth, the roots, and the trees. Okay. Finally, on the last page, this what else can we do? Read books on animals, veganism, vegetarianism, and raw foods. And look up raw vegan and vegetarian recipes. So, yeah. Dave Loves Chickens, written and illustrated by Carlos Patino. Now, this one, I was really hopeful. I thought this one was going to be really good. I thought it was going to be really quirky and cute. It's very, very colorful throughout the whole book, which is great. Kids like that kind of stuff. I do too, I like colors. And it seems like it's going to tell a story, but it kind of tricks you. Like it starts telling you about Dave, this alien who doesn't eat meat. And it's like, okay, cool. But then it just goes into talking about chickens and like why Dave loves chickens. And it's just facts about chickens. It does rhyme, which is nice, but some of the rhyming, they enjoy a dust bath while you're doing some math. I don't know. That's kind of weak. Chickens are great and they don't belong on our plate is how it ends. So again, it just ends up being a kind of preachy thing that's just not particularly fun to me. It's short though. I'll give it that. Chickpea runs away. This one, I have mixed feelings about this book. It tells a story, which is great. It's a little bit on the longer side, but toddler, had no problem listening and engaging with it. In fact, this is the book that they engaged with the most. It had the biggest effect on them. So basically it's a story about a cow about to be slaughtered, essentially, and she ends up escaping and going into the forest and eventually finding a vegan family, and the vegan family helps take care of her and feed her. She's still free. They make it very clear that she's she can still just go around in the forest and do whatever, but they, love her and she has a new family. But it starts with it's just so sad. Chickpea's mommy lived in the stall next to hers. Chickpea didn't remember ever being able to touch her, but they spoke all the time. Moo this and moo that. Chickpea's mommy told Chickpea that she loved her very much. One day, I can't. This is why I have mixed feelings about this book, because it makes me very sad. So you can probably guess what happens. The mommy gets taken and killed. So that was the part that really affected toddler, and they were listening as the story went along, and then finally they were like, well, what happened to the mommy? What happened to her mommy? And it's like, she died. They took her away and they killed her and, killed her for food. And they kept asking so the mommy's gone? Yeah, the mommy's gone forever. Chickpea will never see her mommy again. Isn't that sad? Yeah. So, and just kept, couldn't quite comprehend, what, so no mom, what, just forever? Just gone forever? They understand, well, they don't really understand, but we've talked about, death before and whatnot. But, that really stuck with them. That said, they wanted to read it again. We've read it a few times. They've specifically asked for it. It's a little bit hard for me to get through the first part of it. It is a little bit long. I think I already said that. But it's very, very sweet. I like this one a lot. Did you steal my milk? So probably guess what this is about. Little girl goes into the fridge. There's no milk. So she's going around to all the animals, asking the animals, did you steal my milk? And they're saying no. And then she gets to the cow and the cow's like, bitch, no, you stole mine. What are you talking about? So it's really, really cute. It rhymes. The rhyming is really cute. I also like that they incorporate colors and learning colors. So every animal has some sort of color associated with them. This is another one that toddler asked to read again. I think this is a good one for kids. Again, I think it's easier to understand not eating meat. Like, it's killing the animal, and we love animals. We don't want to kill them. That hurts, right? It's not nice. And so I think kids can get that pretty easily. I think it's a little bit harder with dairy and with eggs. So I think phrasing it in like you're stealing, I think that's the easiest way for kids to get it. And like, that's milk for my baby. That's supposed to feed my baby. And then you took it. Now I can't feed my baby. That sort of thing. It is a little weird at the end. There are a couple of like coloring pages, which, I mean, it's thin paper. It's not a board book or anything, but I don't know if you should encourage kids to color in a book that's like not a coloring book. Like, I don't want to encourage my kids to color in books, you know what I mean? So, I mean, I guess you can try and rip the pages out, but it's not perforated or anything. So, yeah, I don't know. That was a little weird to me. Gobble, gobble, Mr. Wobble. The illustration is very, very good. I think it's for older kids who would get the twist, and also, again, like, not vegan kids who don't really understand that Thanksgiving is Turkey Day and they don't know what that means. So yeah, reading this to my 4-year-old, because the whole thing is the turkey gets invited to dinner by the farmer, is all excited thinking that they're invited to dinner to enjoy dinner with the family. The other animals are like, nah, bitch. And so they're all sad. So there are like a couple scenes where the cow is like visibly crying. There's a tear and everything. Then at the end of the book, it turns out the turkey was right. Was just invited to like a vegan dinner with the family. To toddler, they didn't really get that twist, right? Because they don't like, at one point they were like, why is the cow crying? They were just totally confused. I think this would be good for, a little bit older kid who would get the twist and enjoy it, and also like knows what Thanksgiving is. That's Not My Mama's Milk. This is by Julia Barkalow, illustrated by Kaylee Castle. Very similar to the Did You Steal My Milk? The same sort of thing. So again, I think very easy for kids to understand that concept. Kids learn very quickly about stealing and how bad it is. Just take a toy from them. They'll get it. So this one is not a story, but it is very, very simple, and it's very repetitive, which kids really like, similar to Brown Bear. Illustration is very cute. Baby animals. Everyone loves baby animals. So yeah, I think this is a great one. This is another one that they have both asked for. Like, Tiny Baby even like brought this to me to read. They really like this book. Oh, and it's a board book. I only have, only 2 of these are board books. So this one, and I guess I'll do this one next. And it's the same illustrator as well. Kaylee Castle, different writer. Abiose? I don't know. I'm sorry. Cole. I Am Not Food. So the same very, very cute illustration. Does not tell a story, but it, again, is very simple and very repetitive, and it does rhyme. I am a pig and I am not food. I am a person just like you. So it does that for each animal. I love my family. I love my friends. We love to play in our muddy pig pen. We wrestle and run. We jump around and roll. Our oinks are our words. It's how we say hello. That is something I had to work on for a long time, because it's just R, right? You just say O-U-R as A-R-E. It's the same. They sound the same. I'd really like to be friends. Is that okay with you? I am a cow. I am not food. So again, maybe not for kids who are like already vegan. I don't know, but very, very cute, and board book. I think we have 3. Is that right? Yeah, 3 books. All right. I am a Supervegan. I'm a Supervegan. This one was one of the ones toddler chose initially. They saw the cover and was like, that one, we need to read that one. They kept saying the girl on the cover, so I think they were more interested in this because it had a person on the cover instead of an animal, which was very interesting to me. This is by Katie Clark, and it's cute. To me, I mean, toddler didn't ask to read it again. It's just kind of cringy. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, the title, like, I almost didn't get it. I was like looking through the books, and partner was with me. I was like, I'm not getting that one. He's like, look, it's got good reviews. Like, you gotta include it. Mom, can I be a superhero when I grow up? Elizabeth, you already are, sweetheart. You're a Supervegan. A couple of the books, I can't remember which other one, but they have some like recycling kind of message in there, which is, it's fine, but like that's not really veganism. Like, you can be vegan and not recycle. So it's just kind of weird. Like, do you really have to add that in here? Reusing our bags and being wise with our choices reduces the plastic polluting our oceans, which also, was that supposed to rhyme? Cows have hearts that feel sadness, just like me and you. You don't drink cow's milk because calves need their mommies too. Yeah, okay, that's supposed to rhyme. Choices and oceans. No. Animals are not good for our bodies, as you know. I tried to stay away from anything to do with nutrition for fear of that sort of propaganda. I think I would say this is my least favorite. This is another one I have mixed feelings about. We All Love, a book for compassionate little vegans and vegetarians by Julie Howson. There's no story to it, so it's another kind of telling you facts about animals, but it's very, very simple and very repetitive. It actually reminds me of Quiet Loud. I think they have a bunch of books in that same vein, but that's the one that we have. Slippers are quiet. Mommy's shoes are loud. And Toddler loves that. We've read that book a million times. One of them, the pairings is birds are quiet, airplanes are loud. And Toddler always gets confused. Like, wait, but like birds can be loud too. What? Yeah, it reminds me of that. We have family. Animals have family. We like to play. Animals like to play. We feel pain. Animals feel pain. And it's got a little fishy crying with a fish hook in his mouth. Aww. I think that's a really good way to do it and to show how similar we are without just being like, chickens can do this and pigs can do this and blah, blah, blah. It's just this very simple, we need to eat, animals need to eat, stuff like that. I really, really like that for younger kids. Again, it is a paper book, so you have to be careful if they're too little, but 3-year-old, they should know not to rip their books at that point, right? The illustration just isn't great to me. It's not as bad as Quiet Loud, I have to say. That illustration is awful. I think it's so ugly. But yeah, overall, I think I really like this book. Very simple, very easy to understand for a little kid. I don't know why I had to clarify that, like I'm learning from these books. No, guys, it's not for me, in case you didn't know. Finally, we have Happy Animals, Friends Not Food, written by Leora Raphael and Glenn Sachs, illustrated by Susan Szeki? Szeki? Man, why can't these all just be like Dave Coleman? Sarah Paulson, who is an actual person. That would be interesting. Sarah Paulson wrote a vegan children's book. I love this book. I think it is so well done. The illustration is very, very good. It's very, very cute. It's very bright. All the animals are smiling and happy. It's not really a story. Again, it's facts about animals, but it is told from the animal's perspective. And every time you have a new animal, I am Callie the cow, and I'm so pleased to meet you, and here are my friends who are waiting to greet you. I'm Parker the pig, and I'm delighted to meet you, and here are my friends who are waiting to greet you. So I think that's a good way of doing it from the animal's perspective. It makes it a little bit more like it's a story. I don't know. I think it's more engaging than just throwing facts about animals or, including that they live longer than us, because that's relevant. Oh man, this is the one. Let's see if I can get through it without crying. I can do it. You would not eat your doggy or your hamster or your cat, and we are just like them. It's as simple as that. I did it. I don't know what it is about that line that just gets me. I get, because it is as simple as that, but still, people. Yeah, I'm very sensitive. Just the final thing I'll say. All of these books affect me to some degree, some more than others, like Chickpea runs away. And this one, the ending, just that line really gets to me. So honestly, in the last, month or so that we've had these books, I've found myself being like, here, let's read this totally unrelated, not vegan or animal related book, because I don't want to deal with that right now, So hopefully you enjoyed that. I don't think any of them were bad by any means. I think some were just, more boring than others. Just, maybe make it into a story and it could be a little bit more interesting. All of my favorites were stories, I think. Esther the Wonder Pig was great. Linus the Vegetarian T Rex. Chickpea Runs Away. And then Happy Animals. Those are probably my favorites. But yeah, I think all of them are at least decent. And I think most of them are good, if not really good, if not great. So that was really nice. For little kids, again, the two board books, the I'm Not Food and That's Not My Mama's Milk, are great options. Also, I think the We All Love, even though that's a paper book, I think, again, it's just so simple. The We all need food. Animals need food. Very easy for little kids to understand. Did you steal my milk? Another one for very little kids. I hope you enjoyed that. I don't know if there will be any sales on books or anything like that for Black Friday, but I wanted to get this up before then just in case. If I'm smart, I will remember to put these books, at least the ones I really like, on my Amazon store page so I can get some fat cash. If you guys click on my link, and by fat cash, I mean a few cents here or there. But hey, it's something. Yeah, I'll try to remember to do that. So I guess go check my Amazon store page if you're planning on maybe buying some of these or having a look at them. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. Happy Thanksgiving. Hopefully I will have this up the day before Thanksgiving. So yeah, happy Thanksgiving. I'm going to take the next few days off, so it might be a little bit before. No, sir. Might be a little bit before I have another video up, but yeah, stay tuned. I just noticed this. Guess who has a little quote on the back of the book? Doug Graham. 80-10-10 Diet, Doug Graham. An absolute treasure trove of insight and motivation for readers of all ages. Annie File. Annie's Raw Food Kitchen. Oh my god. I think I had one of her books. Mayim Bialik. Oh man. I did bad. We got some Gardein jerky. Do you know they have jerky? And the only one they had was hot and spicy. It is quite spicy. It is covered in red pepper flakes, but it is so good. It's really good. Partner had one taste and was like, oh, he got that and a couple, or one other brand, Noble jerky, I think. And I didn't know which one he was eating at first. And then he went like, oh, salty. And I knew immediately. It's like, oh, it's Gardein. It's absolutely Gardein. And I love it. And so I ate like, the bag has like 2 servings. I ate like, I don't know, a serving and a half. And I keep burping, and it's spicy burps. So yeah, we'll see how that goes.